Well, g'day everyone. It's Tom Kenyon, CEO of the Sporting Shooters Association here. It's Christmas Eve, 24th of December, 2025. I've made it to Geelong. I'm at my brother's house. We're here for Christmas. And I just thought I'd give you a final update, just where we're at, where we landed. So the bill finished about 3:45 last night in the morning. It passed. The final vote in the lower house, which I don't think I've told you the margin before, the final vote in the lower house was 59 to 15. And then in the upper house last night, or the first thing this morning, was 18 to 8. So pretty handy margins for the government, but that's because the Liberal Party voted with the government. And I think that's the biggest disappointment of the whole thing for all of us, apart from the fact that it even came here in the first place, which was ridiculous and unfair, but that's where we are. So what happens now? So at the moment, the government said you don't really need to do anything. The only thing that will change immediately is if you already have more than 4 and 10, those limits, 4 hunting rifles and 10 rifles in total, if you're a competition shooter, then they will not accept any more PTAs from you, but you don't have to give your guns up straight away. They haven't developed the buyback scheme yet, so just hold tight. I think there's a couple of dodgy emails floating around saying, oh, you've got to surrender your firearms. You do not yet. The bill hasn't even been proclaimed yet. So until it's proclaimed, it's not even law. And then once it is, the government's got to work through all of the administrative proposals and everything else to get it in place and get the buyback in place. So don't panic, just hold tight and wait for further information. I'm pretty sure the New South Wales Registry will be sending out an email later today, if they haven't already. By the time you receive this, then it should be coming with information about what to do and how and everything else. That said, they're still accepting PTAs from people who don't have those limits, and they're also accepting applications for a license. So I'll get to that towards the end of the thing, but that's where we are now. The next step here is that there will be regulations, and regulations are they're called instruments under the Act that give detail about how things will work, and they're written by the minister, and they can be changed by the minister pretty much on a whim. So they will give effect to a lot of the detail that's in the Act. So the Act says broad things, and then the detail comes in the regulations. SSAA New South Wales will lead the work in negotiating with the government on what those are to make them as least bad as possible. So that's our first step. Then the thing about regulations is they get put before both houses of Parliament, and the Parliament has the opportunity to disallow the regulations. And that means they can vote on them and knock them out, and then they need to be either rewritten or they're not in force anymore. So that's another option for the more egregious things down the track, but there's a long way to go before we get to that point yet. So in the new year, we'll send you an update with all the details about who voted and who's good and who's not. We'll send that out. We'll also send out a bit of a plan around the regulations and what's happening and any information that we have on that and where they're heading, and also the details of the buyback as they come to hand. So that will all come out in the new year as we can. So that's good. Well, it's not good, but that's where we are. So I've just got a few thoughts really, just to wrap it all up. And one of them is today, because I'm driving over here today from Adelaide to Geelong, I had a bit of a chance to sit down and think. It's the first time I've really been able to think about anything other than tactics and media and meetings and all of that sort of thing. It's the first time I've actually had a chance to just sit quietly and think about it while I drove. And I have to say, the more I thought about it, the angrier I got, but also disappointed and sad about everything and the way it's going to affect people. It's a very strange mix of emotions for me, at least at the moment. But it's also made me more determined. It's made me a lot more determined to do something about this. And I think the Sporting Shooters Organisation Association, SSAA, is going to have to really think this through a bit carefully and work out how we deal with governments from here on in, because we've always had a good relationship with governments in the past until we didn't, until they wouldn't talk to us. They didn't consult with us, they didn't do anything, they just pushed it through. And we've got to work out, why that is and why they felt they could do that. and how we're going to react to that. So but we can't get that wrong. Like we can't afford to get that wrong. So we need to spend some time doing that. But when we have, then we'll communicate that as well. Yeah, it's a very very unusual time in New South Wales for shooters, I must say. So we'll work our way through that, and we'll come back to you. I'm interested to get your thoughts on it from here. So if you've got comments you want to put in the thing, we'll do that, and we will read through them and come back to you on it. What else? In the meantime, you can take some action. There is some action you can still take. If you haven't signed the petition already, you can. It closes on Boxing Day. There is a guaranteed debate on that petition in Parliament when it comes back, and the higher the number, the better. So sign up if you haven't. Get friends too if you haven't already. Do that. If you haven't written a letter, you can do that too, because it's an ongoing issue. It's not dead yet, and you can express your displeasure politely. No need for craziness, but just polite, putting your point of view. You can do that, and the other thing you can do is keep shooting. Go out to your range, go hunting, whatever it is. Keep doing it. Encourage people to come and do it. If you know people who are interested but haven't got their license, encourage them to go and get their license. If there's people in your family, your wife or husband who doesn't shoot, get them to join up, get them to sign up and get a license. The more shooters, the better. Like the numbers matter. The more people we have shooting, the better off we're all going to be. So get people into shooting. And then the last thing is, if you're watching this and you're not a member of the SSAA, join up. Because numbers matter, and the more people that we can communicate with and put together to take action, the better off all shooters are. At this point in time, the more we stick together, the more effective we can be. And by joining together with a group, we can pool resources through our membership fees, and those resources can be used to run effective campaigns and to run good lobbying and everything else that needs to happen. So I would very much suggest to you that you should join SSAA, and become part of a membership organisation. There's a lot of benefits. You get an excellent newsletter or magazine 11 times a year, every month, except for January. You get $20 million worth of public liability insurance. You get member discounts on merchandise, your national competitions if you're into competition shooting, all of that sort of stuff. There's a lot of member benefits, and it's good value for money membership. So that's about it, I think, for the immediate term. I really want to say thank you for all of you who signed the petition, who wrote letters, who got on board, who got people shared on, got people interested, shared on social media, commented on our social media, who really emailed in suggestions. There was a lot of that going on, and I'm sorry we haven't been able to reply to all of them, but thank you for being involved. There's more to do. We'll be coming back to you in the new year, so rest up, have a great Christmas, try and get some rest, enjoy yourself, try and get some shooting in. I'll be trying to do that. I'm looking forward to some time off. So the membership office is closed, I should tell you that. It's closed until the 12th of January. We'll be back on deck. Our staff there have a bit of a break over summer. You should too. I will be. And then we'll be back into it, because it's going to be a big year for us, especially in New South Wales next year. But remember, there's 3 elections. There's South Australia in March next year, 2026. There's Victoria in November 2026. And then there's New South Wales in March 2027, and that's going to be a big one. So rest up, get prepared, enjoy your break, and we'll come back in the new year with a lot more to be done. God bless. Happy Christmas. See you next year.